Hi, everybody. It's Sarah here. And as we've been talking about WhatsApp mentoring this week, I thought I would show you some useful tips for using WhatsApp with your teachers. There's lots of advantages to using WhatsApp for training teachers. For example, it helps us to build and maintain communities of practice so we can keep in contact with our teachers no matter where they are. It can extend learning time. For example, we might have 1 hour of teacher training every week, or we might have 1 hour of teacher training every month, but extra training can happen over WhatsApp. So there's no time limit. We can extend discussions, we can set follow-up tasks, and so on. We can work with lots of teachers. We can work with teachers who aren't geographically close to us. And we can also send tasks to teachers before they attend a training workshop to get them thinking. So when we build a teaching community through WhatsApp, it helps the teachers and trainers share resources. It really helps teachers reflect on their own practice and develop new understanding. So when they share their experiences with each other, they are developing a deeper understanding of classroom practice. They can also develop language knowledge. This isn't improving their own language, but improving their understanding of language that they might teach. We'll look at this in a minute. And also their pedagogical knowledge. It helps teachers to work together when they create materials, and it can also help them identify mentors as well. And for us as trainers, we might identify a really strong teacher who can help to be a role model for the other teachers. If we want to encourage resource sharing, for example, we could set them something like this. This week, we've been looking at speaking tasks. What speaking activity have you used recently? And of course, you can adapt this for reading, listening, writing, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and so on. Okay, so a question like this would encourage the teachers to share resources. We can also encourage reflection. For example, what was the best moment for you and your students today? How could you make that moment happen again? That's a really nice way to reflect on something positive. Or we might choose to reflect on a challenge that the teachers have so as to help them with some solutions. For example, I'd like to set a quick reflection task. What was the biggest challenge you have faced with your class recently? How did you overcome it? We can also help develop pedagogic knowledge. For example, in your opinion, what are the most important reasons for using pair and group work? We, the trainers, can give one example, and then we hope that the other teachers would also give their own examples as well. And we can develop language content knowledge. For example, today in my class, a student asked, what is better? I'm going to DOSO this weekend, or I will go to DOSO this weekend. What would you say? And this will encourage the teachers to reflect on the difference between will for future and going to for future. So they develop language knowledge as well. And of course, if we notice that one teacher regularly contributes, it's the same one or two teachers all the time, how can we encourage this teacher to set their own discussion or task? Okay. Of course, there are some challenges with WhatsApp. You have to be careful that you maintain a work-life balance and that you're not always on WhatsApp helping teachers. We need to think carefully about how we manage our WhatsApp group. And finally, we need to make sure that everybody participates and talks about the things that they want to talk about in a democratic way. So I hope you've got some things to think about. I hope you've all set up your own WhatsApp groups. And of course, you can invite Claire and I to observe these WhatsApp groups as well. We won't take part, but we can be there in the background. All right. Thank you, everybody.